Meet Gregory. His relationship with God right now is not as strong as it should be. He admits that he needs God's help to strengthen his relationship with Him. Right now, Gregory is experiencing life, so he's sort of placed God on the side for a while. However, he feels he obviously needs God or someone like that, because without God, he doesn't know if he's capable of accomplishing his goals in life. Gregory has faced obstacles and temptations that got the better of him and seems to have no ability to resist them. This is why he admits that he needs God in his life, and he needs the spark in his relationship with God to begin. Maria's relationship with God is quite emotional. She relates that she and God argue, fight, laugh, joke, and spend a lot of time together. There's no other person whom she loves more than her God, for God has done so much for her in the past 9 years or so. In fact, she's come to realize if it were not for God, she probably would not be alive. God is the reason she lives. Her response to God's love is her life. Maria has gotten a little taste of that love, and she's awestruck, humbled, and has become a servant for God's cause. She's experienced a little bit of God's mercy, faithfulness, wisdom, and power. Maria wonders how she can respond to it in any other way than to be humbled by it and say, "Wow." Samuel wishes that God would fax him a list of the things to do so he would be happy without a doubt. But then again, Samuel is reminded that he has a brain and has to make his own choices about his future and his present life. But things sure would be easier if God were right there like his friends are. Meet Crystal. Crystal wonders why anyone who thinks would believe that there could be someone out there called God. She sits and explores her abilities, brains, accomplishments, and sees that she has good and bad days. Crystal takes stock of her collapsed relationships and recognizes that things don't always go very well. She admits that she's very self-centered. Perhaps that's why she can't accept a God that would have authority over her. But Crystal feels that she is spiritual in her own way, a kind of secular spirituality. No one is going to tell her what to believe. She has to figure it out for herself. After all, isn't that the gift God gives anyway? 4 attitudes towards a personal relationship with God reflect 4 classical possibilities about God's presence, existence, and power. Samuel sees God as authority. His role is to respond and obey. If he does, maybe he thinks he'll be okay, but he still wonders. Crystal is not sure if there truly is a God. Her atheism borders on agnosticism, but her conclusion includes the slight possibility of God. It's interesting how many people say they don't believe, but at certain times, like crises and problems, God seems like the only viable alternative to the emptiness inside. Maria knows God. She claims a close relationship, almost like a family relationship with the Eternal One. She's caught between knowing and wondering, a common feeling for all believing Christians. But consistency is always the problem. She has what psychologists of religion call an intrinsic religious life. It's one that reflects a growing relationship and produces positive responses. Gregory uses God. His religion is called extrinsic religion. He wants to use his religion for immediate comfort and personal gain. He recognizes his need, his discouragement, and lack of decisive, positive growth, and thinks that he could grow if only he got his priorities straight. So the questions are, where do you fit in? What attitude do you have about God? Do you have a relationship with God? Everyone has religious needs at some point in their life. Children cling to the mystery of a magical God until they get old enough to realize that it often doesn't work that way. It's obvious when you grow up that you have to use your mind and abilities to make good choices. We all face the growing crisis of finding out how we fit and who we are and are becoming, apart from our parents, churches, or significant authorities' beliefs and understandings. This is natural for everyone. We all seek out our own identity, who we really are. You may live in the reality that things don't always go the way you want. You have needs that have not been met by the things you're involved in and the people you hang around with. This is just as natural. This dialogue explores your religious experience or your relationship to God and what it means to be a spiritual person. You have some choices to make. By the way, making it in life is always about choices. Number 1. You can read a statement of belief written by a theologian whose specialty is in this area of ideology. Number 2. You may choose to get a better feeling about this topic by visiting the media gallery where art and video help explore this concern. Number 3. You even may want to go right to the dialogue or the biblical research area that puts you into the Bible for clarification and provides a statement for your consideration about this topic. It's up to you. It's always up to you. That's why it's called a personal relationship with God.